Welcome to the channel. Today I am going to be changing the oil and upgrading the air cleaner system on my Ariens Icon 52. I bought this a year ago. It's time for me to get rid of the break-in oil and put in my Mobil 1 10W30 on this unit. And in addition to that, I am going to be upgrading the air cleaner system on this unit. It just has the standard air cleaner that came with it from the factory for this Kawasaki engine. And a lot of the guys online said you really should upgrade it to a more commercial canister system. And it gets pretty dusty here in the fall when I'm mowing, so I think it's a good idea. So I'm going to be doing that today. It just arrived last night, so figured I might as well mix that in with the oil change. So let's take this baby up to my garage. I do it in the barn normally, but it's pretty cold here today, and I've got a heated garage, and I'm kind of a baby about that stuff. So let's move this to the garage and get started. Okay, we're back in the garage. It's nice and warm in here and bright, so I can see what I'm doing. So today we're going to be working on this. This is the Ariens Icon 52. Has the Kawasaki FR691V engine. And today we are going to change the oil, replace the oil filter, put in Mobil 1 10W30, and then I am going to put the enhanced air cleaner on here, the commercial one, so that this mower should be like a commercial unit after that for air filtration. So we'll just get started now. In case you have purchased your first zero turn, or you have one of these and you haven't done the first oil change on it yet, I'll show you kind of how to go through it. It's pretty simple, but I'll tell you what tools I'm going to use today. So I have my standard old drain pan that I got, I think, from Walmart. This particular unit has a drain plug right here. So they brought an extension hose in, which is nice. Now I have pre-warmed up this engine so the oil should flow nicely. This has an oil filter on it, and if you don't have one of these, you should pick one up. I think I got this maybe at Harbor Freight, but they tend to put these factory oil filters on like really tight, and it's hard to get them off. This one is located back here. If you can see it, it's right back here. So you can get a strap around it, but I can tell you that from experience, this baby right here really works. It's got the teeth on it. You put it in a 3/8 wrench, and just as you go to put to take it off, it brings these teeth in and grabs that oil filter. It can't get away from it. So this is a great way to do it. Then you're going to need a 5/8 and 11/16 inch wrench for this particular model. Then I am changing all of my equipment after I use the break-in oil to full synthetic, and I'm using Mobil 1 10W30 for that. Then I usually I buy it by the jug because it's cheaper, and then I keep one extra empty quart jug around. I know from reading the owner's manual, this one takes 2.2 US quarts when changing the oil filter. So pretty simple. So let's get started. Make sure I get the camera over here so you can see what I'm doing. And this oil hose actually clips in here, so you can unclip it so you can direct it right into the pan. If I left it there, it would have dribbled on everything, so we're just going to do that. And then you're going to want to unscrew your filler cap so it has some air going in there. And the oil is still really nice on this thing. It's not really bad. The other thing you might notice, I have a mat here. This is called, I know it's an oil change mat. I got it on Amazon. I don't really know who makes it. It was just, I like to use it in my garage. I drop my equipment on it, drive my equipment on it. And then when I go to change the oil and do anything messy like this, it just, if I spill it on the garage floor, it's just going to make it nice and clean. And that is, I hate having oil all over my floor when I'm doing work. So this mat has a rubber backing to it, so you can just get done using it. If you spill anything on it, just wipe it off, fold it up and put it away, and you're fine. Okay, we're just going to let that flow. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get that filter off. You can kind of see it right through here. It's peeking away right there. So I'll see if I can get this on film as best that I can. I'm going to grab some paper towels. Because no matter what, that is going to make a mess underneath. So it's best to be prepared and have some paper towels underneath it so that you're ready to catch that oil, because it's going to make a mess in here. So go ahead and latch onto it here. Ah, there we go. Easy. That one wasn't too bad. Okay, and as promised, it made a mess. But that's okay. We'll just set this here. This is continuing to flow here. And I'm not going to torture you. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and come back after this is done, and we'll put the new filter on and the oil in and get this job done. Okay, we drained all the oil out. It took a little while to get all that out of there. So we're going to go ahead and just put this back in, of course, because why wouldn't it drop into the oil that I just drained out? Slippery. There we go. Okay, so we're going to secure the oil tube back on. Tighten this guy back. Okay. There we go. And we'll clip this back into its clip. Which is easier said than done. There we go. Okay. I like to wipe everything off just to get any dirt, grease that might be still lingering on the inside of this where you're going to be screwing the new filter in. Okay, I bought an OEM filter off of online somewhere. I don't even remember where I got it. But this is the filter. And it says here, coated with engine oil, as always, 3/4 of a turn after gasket contact. So pretty darn standard stuff on changing oil filters. Obviously, I forgot to mention I'm wearing gloves. You don't have to, but I would not want to get all this stuff on me. So gloves should probably be a requirement. Okay, spin that baby on. Okay. Do not go crazy on it. Just like they say, after it contacts, just tighten it up. You don't have to worry. You're going to check for leaks, so just don't go all crazy on it. Okay. As I told you, today we are using Mobile 1 synthetic. I switch over all my machines to Mobile 1 because your break-in oil is usually a standard grade oil. So if you have a machine, this comes with usually a break-in oil in it. That's usually going to be a standard weight oil. They usually want you to use a regular 10W30, not synthetic, for break-in. And the reason for that is these machines have some metal-to-metal wear that occurs during the first 20 hours of break-in. And they want that to take place with a regular oil. Synthetic oils can actually be too slick for some of these engines, and they don't allow those metal parts to wear into each other like they're supposed to. But as soon as the break-in period is over, you're safe to use whatever you want. And like I said, I like Mobil 1. I wanted to stick to one oil for every machine I have. 10W30 is a pretty standard weight for most machines, so you really can't go wrong. Even if it calls for 10W40, you can still use a 10W30 weight oil on it. My log splitter, my snow blower, calls for a 10W40 oil, mostly because I think it's going to be outside in the cold. But this standard weight oil, this 10W30 will be just fine. I keep my snow blower in the garage. It's not kept out in the cold, so I don't have the worry of it becoming cold. I'm sorry, that oil being too thick for the snow blower, so I just keep it here in the garage. Okay, I've just added my second quart. I don't use all of it at the first. I like to start it, let that run in, check it, and then just top it off to make sure we're where we need to be. You want to overfill, because that means you got to start taking out again, and you want to make sure that everything that came out was what you needed to replace. So again, I like to go 2 quarts. It calls for 2.2. We'll run it so the filter gets filled, run it for a minute, and then we'll go ahead and check that. But I don't want to do that right now because my garage is nice and warm and the garage is closed, and I don't really feel like screwing around with it. So we're going to move on to the next task that I want to do today. And I was originally going to go ahead and replace that commercial filter, and we're still going to do that. But the book in this, as I was looking through for the oil, the manual says they want you to drain the carburetor for winter storage. And the reason how they want you to do that is drain the gasoline, the fuel tank, and then run the carburetor dry before you store it. Well, that's a lot of extra work when you can just put stable in the tank to keep that fuel. So I'm going to add a fuel shutoff to this machine, and I'm going to show you how I do it in just a minute. Okay, so here's the setup on this particular unit. Fuel comes out of the tank here, it feeds here to the filter, and then it goes here to the fuel pump, and then into your carburetor. If you're going to add a fuel shutoff like I'm going to do here, the order of operations is always fuel shutoff, tank, fuel shutoff, filter, pump. So you don't want to put the shutoff after that pump, because that could lead to some real problems if the filter gets clogged, or if you shut it off and forget to turn it back on. So I'm going to set up the camera here, and we're just going to put that cutoff, that fuel shutoff here, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. This is a real simple job. I say that, and then I'm going to run into 12 different things that will cause problems, but I don't think so. But I'll just put this like this. And so you can see the action going on, and I'll show you how simple this is. I have everything over here. So basically it consists of a fuel shutoff, and there is an arrow that points to the direction of flow this way. I have 2 clamps to go over the hose. Okay, this is the exact moment I looked down and realized that the fuel line on my Ariens Envy was a 1/4 inch line, and that I had purchased a 5/16 inch fuel shutoff. I had other equipment I can use it on, that's why I bought a couple extras. I figured that was a pretty standard size, but I need a 1/4 inch fuel shutoff for the Ariens Icon, so I went in, immediately ordered it on Amazon, but of course I won't have it for a few days. So everything I showed you was accurate, and I will make another video of me installing it on the Ariens Icon. So the kit I'm installing today is from a company called Power Equipment Man, and you basically get a hose, you get clamps, you get an adapter plate, you get the this top piece, and then you get the canister filter that you'll see on commercial mowers right here. And inside here, there's a filter here, and then there's an inner filter. So this is state-of-the-art filtration right here, and that's what you want for these units, because you're going to be going through a lot of dusty conditions, and you just want the best filtration possible to keep your engine clean so it's not suffering from contaminants in that oil. That'll shorten the engine life. So this is a real simple job. Basically, you're going to flip up the cover where your air cleaner is, and I'm going to need a Phillips screwdriver, and I am simply going to remove these 2 screws right here. Take this piece off, set it aside, put the screws there and the screwdriver. Now I need to remove this air cleaner from the unit. This is a 9/32 adapter on here. And I'll just simply pull the unit off here. Okay, so this one, it's not a bad filter. It has a screen on it and it has pleated, but it's not the best. So again, we're just gonna ditch that. We're gonna take their adapter plate and yes, Steve and I look at the instructions occasionally, but I just want to make sure I put this on the right direction. Yeah, so the adapter plate is simply going to go right here where those 2 screws were. Real simple. It's going to go here. Okay, nice, that's all, pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off, just get some of this dirt out of here. It's not that bad, but I just want it out of there. Okay. Okay, next step on the list here is after we've installed that, we're gonna thread these big clamps through. These are both the same. And according to this, we're just gonna take these off. And they're having us thread it just like this. Through here, through here, and then back through here. I had to take a double take, just make sure I was doing it right. Okay, you're just going to do that, and they have the screw portion pointing up in the air. So we'll just do that. Like that. All right. Next step is they have us put the long end, which is this end, down over this unit here and secure it with a clamp. Okay. Yeah, we're going to want it like this. In this position here. Okay. We'll leave that loose for now until we know what we're getting into. And then they have us putting the other end, again with a clamp, here, like this. Swivels to the up. position. All right, you can secure these. Of course it did, fell off. We're going to snug this, but not totally yet. Okay, I'll tighten that up when I get done here. Okay, so this points up like that. And then you basically just secure your clamps around it like this. Okay, once you have this mounted here, you just take this, push it down into the unit, and then we're going to just tighten these up to hold it in. Now, obviously, you don't need to have a power driver to do this, but I can tell you, it really does help a lot to make the job go fast. I'm not going to tighten anything up quite yet until I know that everything's positioned properly. Okay, that looks good. And then we'll snug this up. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. These are snugged. Okay. I'm just gonna, I want that, I didn't catch that wasn't pointing 100% straight up. I want that straight up in the air right there. This is your intake. So we want that up. There we go. And then we'll grab that. And then this goes on with the clamp, just like the others. As you can see, this just has vents underneath to bring it up. Okay. This is you can throw in your spare parts bin. That's it. It was as simple as that. And now to change the filters, you just pull this off, change. This piece points down. The way this works is it brings debris in from the top and dust, and your air comes up through here. It hits this unit here and it swirls like this. Any pieces that are big will be deposited in the bottom here, and they can come out here in this rubber piece. So this always points down on these units. And then there's a double filtration unit here. You just snap this baby tight. Then this slides over here. Okay, and as long as you hear those snaps, you know you're good. We'll go ahead and bring this tight. And there we go. Air cleaner system is secured. All these are tight and clamped. And I've got the finest filtration as the commercial units now. So that's how we do it here. So I'm going to go ahead and start the unit, check the oil, and put it away. I wanted to include this because I had to do this job, and I figured if you have an Ariens or any mower and you want to put a conversion kit on it, you might like to see how to do it. But it's done, so I think I'll just pass on having you watch me test the oil and make sure it's full. That's a pretty simple job, and I'm just going to put this thing away. So thanks for watching. This is Jeff. This is the Jeffscavator channel. And until next time, are you digging or are you filling?